Good morning. This is Mary Campbell, and I'm coming to you from North Georgia. And this is the first of many videos that I'm going to make talking about homemade blackberry wine. I'll be talking about the containers. I'll be talking about the recipe. I'll be talking about dinner parties that I've had where we have used my homemade blackberry wine. And I hope that you are going to really enjoy my videos, and you'll want to make your own. So first I want to tell you about my homemade blackberry wine recipe and tell you a little bit of the history behind my making homemade blackberry wine. The recipe came out of the Greensboro, North Carolina newspaper sometime around 1978 to 1980. The directions were said that it was on an old family recipe that was over 100 years old. So since that time, I have made blackberry wine almost every year. In the past 45 years, I've probably only missed maybe 5 years that I have made blackberry wine. And I'll tell you the reasons why at some time during this group of videos. So the recipe says take a glass-gallon jar with a big mouth, put in a quart of blackberries and 3 pounds of sugar. Fill the jar with water within 1 inch of full. Tie a cloth over the jar and set in a dark place to ferment and forget about it for a few weeks. Every week or so you can stir the mixture if you wish. When it ferments, the seeds will settle to the bottom. Strain and put in the containers that you wish. Well, I wrote an essay about this, and one of the things that I say in here is this is the recipe. So here was my experience. The first year, I started out with blackberries, and I waited for the seeds to go to the bottom. But I never saw that the seeds went to the bottom because the hulls stay at the top. So I was waiting for the hulls to go to the bottom, and they never did. So it was December, and my wine had turned to vinegar. So I threw it all out, and then I had to wait until the next summer to get more blackberries. So since then, I have been more sensitive, and then I will start the blackberries whenever they come in the summertime. I'm in Georgia now, but I have fixed it when I've lived in North Carolina, and when I lived in Alaska, I had a few blackberries, and it usually takes about 3 months for the seeds to go to the bottom. So probably wondering about now, so how long does it take? And how do you know when it's done? Well, I usually start it in, when the blackberries come in. I start the wine the day I get the blackberries. I put them in the container. I put the sugar and the water in. And so I'll start that in June or July or August, whenever I have blackberries. You need to be sensitive to your area about when they're coming in. There was one year, several years ago, that they came in very early, and I missed them completely. So that was one year I did not make wine. But it usually starts then, and then it's usually like starting in July. It's usually towards the end of October when they're ready, and you can take the top off, and you can get you a little glass and test it and see if it tastes like it's wine.